Wave News welcomes Interim Louisville Police Chief Paul Humphrey as he has agreed to join us today to sit down and look at what's going on in our community, our police force, and our youth, and also just to take a look at our community to find out what's going on. Now, I know this is not going to be your only visit, so I appreciate that.
No, thanks for having me. I look forward to the opportunity to talk to you and speak to the community.
So, I'm glad that you came today because we had so much that happened yesterday. What can you tell us about the officer-involved shooting at Fairdale Walmart yesterday? You immediately came out and tried to explain what was going on, because something like that is something, number one, we don't want to see again, but it's just something that you would not ever expect to see. Right,
and first of all, very grateful that no innocent people were injured. The woman who was effectively kidnapped. This was a really crazy situation. Started from a car chase where that ended in a crash, started by the state police, and then as the man ran away with a gun, ran through the Walmart, and as he exited, running from our officer, he hopped in the passenger seat of the woman's car who's sitting, minding her own business, trying to get her medication from the pharmacy. And so as the officer approached, you know, he took the actions he needed to in order to save her life. And here's what I can tell you about that that's even more frustrating, is that just about 2 months ago, that man was arrested for being a felon in possession of a handgun. And now here we're dealing with the same exact thing, where he's going to be charged with felon in possession of a handgun, possession of a controlled substance, and possibly attempted kidnapping and robbery. That's unacceptable.
Why is he on the street?
I would like to know the answer to that too.
Okay.
And that's what's plaguing our city, right? I don't want anybody to stay in jail longer than they should be. But there's some people that can't figure out how to be a productive part of society, and they can't figure out how to play by the rules. And so they need to go in adult timeout, and they need to stay there until they mature enough to figure out that there are rules in society, and you don't get to victimize other people. And so hopefully he stays in jail until he can figure that out this time.
Now, was she stationary, or was she moving her car? And then in my mind, I'm wondering, what do you do in a situation like that? I wouldn't know what to do in a situation like that.
Well, and you know, that woman was completely shocked, and she is traumatized today. So the mayor's spoken to her today and checked on her. The officer's doing well. But some of that stuff about, was the car moving? I'll be all the way honest, I watched the video, I couldn't tell whether it was moving or not. But the fact of the matter is that when somebody jumps in your car with a gun and threatens to kill you, I don't know how I would react.
Right.
But I'm very, very grateful that officer took decisive action. The option of letting that guy get away in that car with that woman was not there. And so that officer took decisive action, didn't wait for it to get even worse than it always was, and took care of that woman.
What was the relationship between the two guys?
I don't know that yet.
All right, earlier this month, your department announced the policy surrounding body camera footage with officer-involved shootings. It's going to be updated. Why did officers decide to change that policy? Why the policy change?
So I decided to change the way that was done.
And I said that was me. Why did you, Chief?
So our policy's never been, or our practice has never been stated that we were going to do a press conference. What our promise to you and the community is that we are going to be transparent in the releasing of our video. We had some issues with when state police were conducting our investigations, but what I want to make sure is that the information that we give out is consistent. And we don't give out information that's going to compromise the investigation. So when we do this in a curated release, we're giving you all of the same information that we give in a press conference, but it is now memorialized that way with all that information together for anybody at any point to go on there. I love you guys. You guys do a great service, but not everybody has the opportunity to watch those full press conferences or to see your news clips. So the opportunity for them to go and see that full explanation of what we know at that point. I think the big thing is that we're going to have to follow up. Right? So when you do ask questions about that, and then when the investigation is further and we have better information, we do a better job of making sure that we get that part of it out too.
All right, I know that we are out of time, but I've got to ask this, Mackenzie, and I'm sorry. Our mayor said we have a gang problem. We have finally said the word gang problem. What now?
No, 100%. And so I've said before that, you know, the gang problem today is not the gang problem that you saw when we were growing up. It's not red versus blue, these huge gangs. It's changed. And the reason why it's changed is because we've been successful, right? So we found a way to dismantle those gangs in the way that they were operating. And so this is the next iteration of it, is we have these smaller gangs where people go in and out of different groups. And the way that we're conducting our investigations now, so we've indicted, federally indicted, over 70 people in the last year, each of the last sequential years, which is way more than we'd ever done before, which means that our investigations into these groups and these individuals are solid, and these people are going to spend a long time in the penitentiary, and they need to understand that.
All right. Well, you'll be back, and we'll talk about that. And we went over. Sorry, Mackenzie, again. We appreciate you. You'll be back.
Yes, ma'am.
To talk to the community so we understand what's going on. And maybe next time you'll tell us what we need to do as a community to help you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Chief, so much. We will find out more. And again, you'll be able to help us as well. More Wave News at 4 next.